Hi, everyone. Welcome. Just give you guys a moment to pop on. Say hello. You jump in. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Laura Mazzata. I am a holistic therapist of 20 years, an Akashic Records channel, and a consciousness mentor. It's been a while since I have done these readings on YouTube, and I'm so happy to be back. I love this community so much. Everyone who shows up to these lives is always so open and vulnerable and supportive of one another. We always bring through gorgeous wisdom, and today is going to be no different. So I am excited to be here with you. This is sacred space. Enter with a really heart-centered intention. Let me know what your intention is in the comments of the chat. I know we have a comment here from someone who is not able to make it live, but would like to understand how to set up the most protective space around them while connecting to the higher realms. So I am going to prioritize those who are here live, of course. So definitely say hi if you're here. Hi, Sherry. Happy Sunday. Hi, Natalia. Before we ask questions, let's set intentions. Hi, Lindsay. I miss you too. I'm so excited to see you soon. Yay. I'm so happy to have you, Mystic Phoenix. Hey, Heather. Hi, Anna or Anna. Hi, Sunkella. Great. So we are going to answer questions in a minute. But first, I want to enter the Akashic Records together today. I just want to go through the whole thing together today. I don't usually do this on these lives. I usually just do readings. But today, I really just want to look at my hair today. I can't. Today, I just want to drop in all together and just really be collectively entering this space with intention and just sharing this energy together. So if you have never opened the Akashic Records, say newbie in the comments and let me know. Hi, Richie's Reach. Hi, Nicole. Thank you for being here, you guys. Newbie, welcome. Welcome, Mystic Phoenix. Welcome, Jennifer. Thank you guys for being here. You're learning, Sunkella, aren't we all? I'm learning too. We're all learning. Hi, Paola. All right, guys. It's so wonderful to have this community together. Say hello to each other if you know each other. And that's what I've found happens on these lives is as we open up and share and we allow vulnerability and we receive reflections from the Akash. Anybody who's here live or on the replay, it's relevant for you, right? It's all relevant for you. It doesn't have to be your question. So just know that all of you who are in here in this space together are intertwined at an energetic level. You're all here to receive from one another as well. So if there's anything that you want to add in the comments that can support someone else, please feel free to do so. Again, this is really a community-based space, and I'm very, very happy to have you. So let's drop into the Akashic Records, you guys, and start together by entering this sacred space in ceremony. All right, so let's close our eyes. You can put your feet on the floor if you'd like, especially if you have never been in the Akashic Records before or worked with higher realms. I do encourage you to ground. That could be your butt on the floor. It could be your feet on the floor. It could be outside in nature. Thank you for sharing your intentions, Ankela. I really appreciate it. You are leading the way. Thank you for leading in this space for other people to drop their intentions as well. My intention is, you know what? I've actually been meaning to look at this because I write out my intentions each month. And I was wondering what my intention was for this week. Last week was expansion and leadership, which certainly happened. The week before that was connection, which certainly happened. And this week is expansion and spirituality and consciousness. Yeah, there we go. Which it makes a lot of sense because this week is the full moon. We have a full moon on the 24th of February. I'm going to be doing a full moon ceremony in my membership group on Wednesday. So if any of you guys want to jump into my membership and join us for that ceremony and all the other goodness we go in there, let me know and I can drop that link for you. But yeah, one of the things I've been doing is setting intentions for on a weekly basis. And it has been Like, it always comes to pass. It always comes to pass. It just shows you the magic of energy follows intention. So that's why I say, set your intentions here today. And so for me, it's going to be, like I said, my one for the week is expansion spiritually and in consciousness. And today, you know what? I'd really like to bring all of them together. I want to bring connection together. I want to bring expansion and leadership together for all of us. Leadership, not just regardless of your professional role, but in your personal life, right? Like, are you in leadership of your body? Are you in leadership of your health? Are you in leadership of your thoughts? Are you in leadership of your emotions? Are you in leadership of your relationships and your connections, right? So, yeah, thank you guys for dropping these. Merge with my other soul fragments. Love that so much. Allow financial needs to be taken care of. Beautiful. They already are. Life purpose, expansion, healing and confirmation, connection with my essence. Yum. Trying to access, but feel like I'm dissociating. Possibly being upright will do the trick. Yeah, it can. It can feel very dissociative, Sarah. It can feel very dissociative to be in the higher dimensions, which is why I really encourage grounding and why I run the energy to find a harmony and a balance before we enter the space of the Akash, because it can feel really dissociative for people, particularly who have a history of trauma or whose nervous systems are not fully regulated. I mean, fully regulated. Are every one of ours always fully regulated? No, but like mostly regulated. Let's be clear. Breaking energy bonds and expansion into love life for the first time. Oh, thank you, Sarah. Okay, so let's do this. Are we all grounded? We all grounded? Take a sip of water if you need to before we open up. That assists with the energy moving. Helps the physical body with attuning to this frequency. All right, so we are going to close our eyes. Allow the shoulders to fall back and down. Take a nice deep breath in and release. Another deep breath in all the way to the top of your head. And a very, very slow exhale. Another deep breath in all the way into your fingertips. And exhale down through the toes. Heading down through the crust of Mother Earth into the root system, past the crystalline caves and the sacred waters, and wrapping our life force energy 3 times around the core, unconditionally loving center of Mother Earth, where we find a really warm energy, an alchemizing, transformational energy. We allow all of that transformation and alchemy to rise up into the body and touch each of our cells, every system of the body, every energy center, feeling the warmth as it sinks in through the skin. Take a nice deep breath here, pulling all that energy into the heart space. And it's from the heart space that we send a crystalline tube of white light up beyond the top of our heads, past the space in which we're sitting, beyond the earth, past the moon, the stars, the galaxy, entering into a space in the Akash. And as we allow the opening of this tube to enter into this higher dimension, we feel lighter, we feel freer. We take a nice deep breath in to draw in all of this high vibration, cool energy down into the physical body, allowing it to awaken every part of us, every layer, the physical, the mental, the emotional, the energetic, and awakening the soul within us. Take a nice deep breath into the top of your head and allow an audible sigh on the exhale, signaling to the subconscious mind that we are letting go. Continue to breathe slowly and deeply at a pace that's comfortable for you, allowing the face to soften, the jaw to loosen, the arms and legs to feel heavy, softening the eyelids, loosening the neck. inviting in all of our guides, loved ones, angels, and ascended masters. And it's with this single Om that we will open up the Akashic Records. The records are now open. Just keep your eyes closed and your breath moving, allowing yourself to adjust to this high frequency space, inviting in all of our collective guides, loved ones, angels, and ascended masters to be present with us as a community here today. Anchoring into the space beneath you as you continue to breathe. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. All right, my friends, it's so wonderful to share this sacred space with you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to share a couple things before we get started with answering questions. One of the things that I would like to share is the way that I do readings. I'm very, very happy to, of course, bring through information to any of you. That's why I'm here, right? What's more important to me and is a deeper part of my mission is to guide you into bringing those answers through. Not as easy on a live, right? But I allow the guides to guide me. And what I really encourage you to do is to ask questions that bring you closer to your divinity, not to ask questions that just satisfy your ego. Like, when am I going to make money? Am I going to get that job? Am I, is my relationship going to last? Right? These are all things that satisfy the ego temporarily. But one of the mantras for me and the major themes in my business is sustainability. I've been a therapist for 20 years. And one thing I can tell you is that there are so many approaches and so many modalities out there in the spiritual world and the therapeutic world that give us a really nice Band-Aid and give us the illusion that we're getting better. And then I see people cycling through the same things over and over again. And that's when people come to me, because I'm telling you, when you really bring forward your questions and your intention from a space of getting closer to actualizing your divinity on this planet so that you can be the highest form of yourself, that's what's going to extend through the rest of this lifetime and even beyond. Okay. So I may redirect you if you ask a question like, tell me when my lover is going to arrive, right? Because these are answers that, first of all, sometimes the Akasha is not going to bring through, right? Sometimes the Akasha is going to be like, you know what, people? I'm not here to just blow sunshine up your ass, right? The Akasha is here to invite you into a deep, intimate relationship with your inner self, okay? And sometimes their guidance can be very direct and very blunt. And sometimes it can be, you're not ready to receive that yet. So I want you to be open to receive whatever is meant for you. And as a lot of my clients say, I always receive what I need, but not necessarily what I want. Okay? I always receive what I need. You will always receive what you need in my sphere here. Always. Not necessarily what your ego always wants. Okay? So with that being said, we can start questions. This is what I encourage. When you leave a question, don't blow it up with a million questions. If you see somebody posted a question, wait. And the reason I say that is because you're just going to have to post it again. Okay. Because they end up backing up in my feed. And then I spend a lot of time on the live scrolling through the feed and you guys have to wait in between. So we're going to start here with Sankela. My question, please advise, how can I improve my visit and reading my Akashic records? What they say, do I do it right? You're always doing it right. There's no right or wrong when we talk about the Akashic records. This is a relationship, and it's a relationship that you have that's unique to you and your Akashic records. That's going to be different from anybody else's. Okay? The way you bring through information and the way that it interacts with you is unique to you. So I don't want you to look at it as improving your visit. I want you to look at it as, how am I being called to deepen my connection? Because your connection's already there. And the fact is, sometimes we can feel that connection palpably, and sometimes we cannot. And that's okay, because over time, it becomes more palpable. and more understandable to the conscious mind. If you're meant to understand it in the conscious mind, you will, whether it's now or whether it's later. So the important thing here is to be present with the energy, to be present with your guides, and to receive and allow them to speak to you. So the two main reasons that I always say that people are not receiving what they desire in the Akashic Records are because either they haven't fully decided that, yes, I deeply believe in this and everything that comes through is what's meant for me at this time. And I have decided that I'm going to deepen this relationship and I'm not going to waver in my belief, regardless of external evidence or circumstances or palpable sensation in this space. I'm going to decide that I trust. I'm going to decide that this relationship is growing. I'm going to decide that it's already activated within me. And number two is that your nervous system is dysregulated. And that just means that you're not in a place where your physical form has space to receive the level of vibrations that are coming through from a higher level of consciousness. Okay. And your system can get overwhelmed and kind of go into shutdown freeze response where you're not really receiving anything. And so that is a lot of what I do in my programs, is helping people with finding that balance, of regulating the nervous system and bringing in that soul aligned guidance and then giving it space to integrate. That's really important, to give yourself space to integrate. So if you're entering the Akashic Records, searching for something, looking for something, it's like we're going into a relationship with another human being and saying, hi, okay, here, this is what I want from you. Give it to me. Right. And it's very demanding. And we don't want to bring a demanding energy into the records. We just want to be. We want to be there and be present. One of my favorite practices in the records is just literally opening them and being there, just sitting there, taking a light bath, allowing my frequency to attune, allowing myself to receive whatever I'm meant to receive at the time without attaching to an outcome. Okay. One of the best ways for me when I first started working with this space was to write, to automatic write, like just to put my pen to paper and to just let my hand move once I open that space, or asking the question, what am I meant to receive right now? What am I meant to integrate right now? And answer that question in my journal, or start a conversation back and forth. Okay. And like have a journal that's devoted to a conversation between you and your guides, where you're just answering questions back and forth. And then you're going to say, how do I know that's not me? How do I know that's not my ego? Right? When you're in the space of the Akashic Records, anything that comes forward is relevant. Anything that comes forward is relevant. So you questioning it, what questions? Your mind questions. Your soul doesn't question. Your mind questions. Okay? And lastly, I will say, move the body. If your nervous system's kind of wonky, even if you don't know if it is, but you're like, I don't know, maybe it is, maybe it's not, move the body. Exercise, do qigong, do some yoga, chant, sing, breath work before you enter the Akashic Records, because that's going to open more space for you to receive. Nicole, I would really need to know how to quit feeling broken, get out of my rut and closer to my path, purpose, mission. Right. So I'm glad that you said feeling broken, because you're not actually broken. Right. And I understand the rut. I've been there many times myself, and I think we can all probably attest to that. Is there anybody else here who can attest to being in a rut, especially when they feel like you're kind of spinning your wheels and not getting closer to your mission? Just so you know, you're always getting closer to your mission. You're always living your mission. You're always living your purpose every day. And I think it's like, we try so hard to focus on like getting somewhere else than where we are. Have you been with the rut yet? Have you talked to the rut? Have you allowed the rut to expand? The other day, last week, I was releasing rejection codes from my field that were existing at a deeper level. And I literally laid there and was like, bring the rejection. I invited it in, inviting the direction. And so I'm inviting the rejection, inviting the rejection in. And I was like, grow. Get as big as you can. Take up space in my entire body. Take up space in my entire field. Let me fully feel the rejection. It's very uncomfortable, but it passes quickly because you're not rejecting a part of yourself. So this rut is here for a reason. Ruts are like plateaus. They're the place where God plants seeds. They're the place where God plants seeds. Okay. So recognize that right now you're in a space of fertile ground. And I also want you to realize that what makes you feel enthusiastic, what makes you feel excited, what makes you feel activated, That's one of the things that I do to help myself is I look at my, like I was just saying earlier, I look at my calendar at a glance for the month and I write down all the things that I'm excited about. And if I don't have something that I'm excited about every other day or every few days, I add it in. I add it in to have something to always look forward to that I'm pumped about. Because and this can be related to your human design too. I don't know how many of you know your human design, but like I'm a generator in human design. And so I'm meant to be like I'm at my best and in my highest alignment when I am excited about something. So me making sure that I have things on my calendar that I am consistently excited about are going to be magnets that help pull me forward. I call it loving yourself forward. Okay. But it's recognizing this is your path. The rut is your path. When you try to not make the rut your path, that's when you get stuck in it more. Right. So it's like being with the rut and knowing, and at the same time, knowing with confidence that it's going to pass, that it's temporary. Right. 100%. Let me see if there's anything else coming through for you around that, Nicole. Yeah, I just feel like you need to hold yourself. That's what I'm feeling right now. Like very cocoon energy, very inner child energy. Like, have you held yourself in this? Like, deeply held yourself? And where are the areas within you that you can hold more of? Usually it's those parts of us that we're rejecting. Usually it's those parts of us that we're judging, or that we think are negative. But it's like when we're in a rut, it's accepting all of us, accepting all aspects of who we are. And being like, "Okay, I accept that I'm in this space, and I know that I'm being prepared for something greater, and I get to be excited about what's coming around the bend because it's gonna be bigger than I imagined, because clearly this is a big preparation." Okay? So that's what's coming forward for you around that. Richie's Reach. What blocks are holding me back from realizing my full potential of becoming of service to others? What blocks are holding me back from realizing my full potential of becoming okay. So, if you've worked with me at all, you know that I don't believe in blocks. Blocks are an illusion of the ego. Energy is always moving. It's always, we are never, ever, 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 ever stagnant. I'm going to add another ever stagnant. We're never stagnant. We're never stuck. We can feel stuck, but we're never stuck. Okay. So, what's holding you back from realizing your full potential and becoming service to others? Not doing it. Just freaking do it. Just start doing it. You need to feel the fear and do it anyway. You need to feel the doubt and do it anyway. Right? It's through the doubt and resistance that your brightest light is shining. Your light is already shining. You're already in the fullest potential you're meant to be in right now. There's no place to get. You get to serve based on who you are. So once you fully accept and appreciate who you are and that your vibration alone, without using words or gestures or anything, deeply serves humanity, you're already doing it. I always say to people when they want to be of service to others, what lights you up the most? What do you love doing? Like for me, I started this business years and years and years ago when I wanted to be more consistent in meditation. And I started a meditation membership group. And I invited because I was like, I love meditation. I want to go deeper. I want to hold myself accountable. I want to be in this energy more. And I need to kick myself in the ass to fucking get there. Right. And so what I did was I created something because this is the thing. The more invested you are in the service you provide to others, the more they're going to feel that investment and that energy becomes magnetic for people to come to you. So it's like, what do you love doing? Invite people in, even if you don't want to charge them for it. Who cares? Right. Like just invite people in and just start to share in this energy. It's fucking magical. Everything we give is brought back to us tenfold. Everything. It might not be from the exact same person we gave to. That's the exchange, the trust in the exchange energy of the universe that we need to deepen. Right? Where it's like we get to just give because we love to give. And make sure that we're giving from a space that is in our overflow, as long as we are well nourished first. Okay, so that's my answer, Richie's Reach. Kind of an extended one that went on a couple tangents. Just do it, Nike. All right, Heather Baldwin. Am I being the spiritual being I am meant to be? Yes. And going on the right direction to be better connected to the divine. Yes. And just so you know, do you see what just happened? Do you see how she just asked yes or no questions? When you ask yes or no questions, okay, like, can I go further? Yeah. But like, when you ask yes or no questions, there's going to be a yes, yes, right? You want more than that, right? You want deeper information than that. If you want deeper than that, rewire, rewrite your questions as open ended. But that being said, thank you for allowing this to be a teaching moment, Heather. I'm going to come back into this one and see if I can give you anything a little bit deeper too. And guys, I encourage you, I'm starting to get to the top of my feed here. I encourage you to stop posting questions right now until I get to these, because they're going to get lost, and then I'm going to miss these questions um, that have been posted. Okay. So, am I the spiritual being I am meant to be and going in the right direction to be better? Yeah. And the thing is, like, what feels good, Heather? What feels good? Do what feels good when connecting to the divine. The divine wants us to be in joy. The divine wants us to be in elation, right? Whatever makes you feel like that, even if it's completely unrelated to spiritual practice. Maybe you're meant to go play pickleball. Maybe you're meant to go get a facial. Maybe you're meant to go buy that chocolate that you love, right? Like, remember, our relationship with the divine is vibrational in nature. It is not concrete as we look at here. So it's like, do you feel connected to the divine? Are you intentional? Don't get into an anxious attachment with the divine, people. I see this all the fucking time, where it's like we're trying to prove ourselves to the divine. We're trying to like, oh, I want the divine to like me. And I want to make sure that it like thinks that I'm doing this right, because like I want to be a good girl for the divine. No more people pleasing with the divine, people. This happens all the time. I did it myself. I see it all the time. I remember when I was like, oh shit, like I'm in an anxious attachment with God. Really? Right? Really? I actually authored a 90-page manuscript in college on the connection between attachment to mom and attachment to God. Of course it was correlated. Of course it was, right? Because that's what I'm saying is when I talk about when I was answering, I think it was Sankella's question around connecting to the Akashic Records. It's like if your nervous system is all twitchy and overstimulated and overwhelmed, you're not going to be like, ooh, let me open up to all the spaciousness and opportunity that the universe can give me. No way. Your nervous system's going to be like twitch, twitch, twitch. Oh my God, this is so overstimulating. I can't. I'm already freaking out about everything in the 3D. And now you're going to add higher dimensional shit, right? Like it's freaking out. So that's the thing. Like all of you is meant to be present with the divine. All of you. So that's my question for you, Heather. Where is all of you not showing up to be with the divine? Where can you invite more of you into relationship with the divine? Okay. Sarah, do I need to integrate more healing before I can access my highest potential for healing myself and others? No, you never do. You never need to integrate more healing before you can. Healing is this very interesting concept because the fact is we're all well. The fact is we're all whole, right? Doesn't feel that way a lot of the time. Definitely doesn't. But the fact is there's 7 billion people on this planet. There's always going to be people that are a couple steps behind you, even though there's no timeline or hierarchy, right? Like there's always going to be people who haven't necessarily experienced what you have or tapped into the level of consciousness that you have something to offer to, right? And so it's like, I think this is the mind that the ego, the game that the ego plays with us is like, well, but you need to make sure you get here. Why? Because it is delaying you. It's interrupting, or it's putting in a rain delay. And it's saying, wait. Hold up on this momentum. Let me interrupt this momentum for a minute here, because you're flying off into the freaking cosmos and you're here to change the freaking world. Holy shit. Let me shrink you so that we can stay safe and planted on this planet in the comfort zone that we're accustomed to, right? So these questions of, do I need to integrate more healing? No. In fact, you know what I love the most, Sarah? This is like my medicine. This is what I base my whole freaking business on, people. If you feel like you need to integrate more healing, where? How? Create a program on it. That's what I did with Vitality. It has been massively successful. It's a phenomenal program, right? Because Vitality I created because I noticed, because I had sepsis. For those of you who don't know my story, I had sepsis 8 years ago. I almost died. I couldn't walk for 3 years, all the things, right? What I found was when I would have bouts of physical discomfort or illness, it wasn't that I was doing anything wrong. It was that I was being invited to deepen further, to immerse further in my spiritual surrender and my spiritual relationship, into 3D outcomes, right? And so I was like, I want to create a program that encourages me to deepen my spiritual immersion all the time, at least 2 to 3 days a week, where I'm invited to deepen this with repeated practices that expose me to this frequency and expand me and allow the divine to completely guide me, right? So that's what I encourage. It's like, you think you need to integrate, you think you need to heal more, create something. Just like I was saying to, I think it was Richie's Reach earlier, like I was saying, if you like meditation, if that's something you want to cultivate deeper, create a meditation circle, invite people into it. So it's like, invite people in to do it with you. And what I promise you without a shadow of a doubt is, as soon as you do that, all the downloads and the codes and the response from the universe come in and they integrate it within you before that program even starts. Every fucking time. Every time. Every time I've done this, where I did one on, I think it was desire. Cause I was like, ooh, I was experiencing such big desire. And I was just like, what do I do with all this? Like, how do I organize it? Like, it just felt big to me. And so I created a masterclass on desire. And guess what? Fully integrated and actualized that right before I started that. It's wild how much, when you decide and you open up the invitation and you create a 3D container for it, a place where it can live energetically on this planet, the energy flows in to feed it. It's amazing. All right, I'm just going to get a sip of water. You're welcome, Richie's Reach. That's the name of the game for me. I'm very empathic and understanding, and I've probably been there with almost everything that you can imagine, especially being a therapist for 20 years. I've seen everything, I promise you. Pretty much everything. I'm also I bring a kick in the butt. Well, the Akash really does. I always have too, but yeah, it feels really good to just be like, that's why I know that people end up being in therapy for years and years and years and years and years, because it's like this beating around the bush, going around hand holding. And I appreciate that. There's a place for that. I absolutely think there is. But there's also a very direct, I can see to this immediately, and we can resolve this fast if you want to. Let's tune into your nervous system. Let's see if you're ready for that step. You're always kind of ready, but let's nourish the human so that you feel more stabilized in moving into it. And then we'll move into it. All right. Green gold. My question, what am I not seeing that I should be seeing right now? Okay. Well, first of all, don't shoot on yourself. I'll say that. I'll just rephrase that to, what am I not seeing that I am meant to be seeing right now? Your power was the first thing that came up. I'm just getting chills down my spine. Let me just see. That seems so generic. Let's see what else they have to say. Okay, I'm going to kind of go off here because they're just going to channel for you here. They're just talking to you, like having a conversation. They're like, why? Let me get their words exactly. They're speaking to you, but they're also speaking to the collective. So thank you for opening up this portal to the collective as well. But they're saying, like, why do you need to know everything? That's what they're saying. Why do you need to know everything? Why do you feel like you always have to get somewhere? Right? Like, what they're saying is, how much presence and stillness are you experiencing with yourself? How much, like, intentional space are you opening to just be still in complete and utter silence with you? How much are you doing that? Because they're saying all of those answers are going to be coming up when you're in stillness, and this is the thing, when we sit in stillness, guys, it can feel freaking torturous. It can feel torturous to sit in stillness with ourselves. Complete silence, or sit in silence with source energy, with God, with spirit guides, whatever. But the fact is, you are going to witness your nervous system getting twitchy, your mind running a million miles a minute, your emotions coming forward. You're going to notice all the things, right? You're going to attune your senses like a rock star in this. You're also going to attune your intuitive senses even more deeply, because what is meant to be seen is going to show itself to you. What is meant to be seen is going to show itself to you every single time. The other thing I will ask you here is, they're saying, tune into the body. Like, what is your body showing you? How intimately are you connected to a relationship with your body? How much are you listening to it? And let me give you a little caveat here. One of the things that I learned in my healing process was that I was listening to my body too much at certain spots. Like, I was almost coddling it. Like, it would say jump and I would say how high. And you got to keep in mind that the body also holds codes of our trauma history, and it also holds codes of narratives and limiting beliefs that don't belong to us. So I think what they're telling me here is like, really getting in touch with the body when you're in stillness, and allowing it to speak, and getting in touch with the sensations that are coming alive in your body, and then asking, how much of this is mine? How much of this is actually mine? And allowing what is not yours to release, and allowing what is yours to show you what it's here for, right? Because it wouldn't exist in your field if they didn't have a purpose. And I was even telling a client this the other day, like, if you tune into your body and you say, I don't know, I'm not feeling anything, then you're in freeze state, or you're not sitting with it long enough, because your body always has something to say every single moment of every single day. I promise you. All right. So you're welcome. That was just like a total random channeling that came through for you. Thank you for the question. All right. You're welcome, Lee Jane. Thank you for being here. All right. SL. My question. Thank you. You're welcome. What does my spiritual team want me to know? I feel like I've seen them attempting to reach out in my dreams. Then they are reaching out in your dreams. So trust yourself. There's the answer. Trust yourself more. Also, this is where I want you guys to really know that you're the guru of your own experience, and that, like, I can tell you all the things under the sun, but your messages from your own soul and your own body and your own field are more potent and important than anything else. So, like, if you're feeling like you're getting reach outs in your dreams, then be more intentional with your dreams, right? Be more intentional. Like, listen, when our intuition speaks like that, you already know, like, you already have the answer, right? You already have the answer that they're coming to you in your dreams. And so what you want to do is open more space for dream time to be more intentional. So it's like this question: what does my spiritual team want me to know? Ask that question before you go to bed at night, or write it on a piece of paper and put it under your pillow. Put little hearts and stars next to it too. That's what I do. And sometimes crystals, but not giant ones, so you don't stab yourself in the head when you're going to bed. But yeah, I mean, it's like, be more intentional with what, like, asking them to bring these answers through in your dream time, because some people, that's where they get almost all of their downloads, is through dream time. And this is how we start to learn how to build our intuition. So I'm going to give you a clear answer here in a second. But as you know, I really like to teach you how to do this yourself. Okay. Because that's more sustainable. And what I really want you to do is trust that you know already that dream time is a powerful time for you. Right. And it's a time of integration, a time of restoration, obviously, but a time of awakening for you. And so it's doing that. And then the second you wake up in the morning, writing down everything that comes to you, whether it's a dream, whether it's a feeling you're having, whether it's, I feel absolutely nothing, just write it down. And as you do this more consistently, daily for 7 days is what I would recommend. This is kind of like partially a lucid dreaming technique. You're going to, the universe is going to be like, oh, okay, this person is reliable. This person is reliable. They're saying that they're intentional about this, and they're not wavering, and they're trusting that we're going to come to this person in their dreams. So let's see if there's anything else they want to share with you today. They're just saying, like, recognize how precious you are. You need to know how precious you are. Do you realize that? Are you able to feel deeply in your heart how precious you are? You're expanding, you're growing, your intuitive abilities are increasing. When that happens, we can feel ungrounded, we can feel scared, we can feel lost, we can feel like, "Oh my gosh, what is this?" We can feel like, "Should I do this? Am I crazy?" All of these things that are coming in, if those things are coming in, good, because that means you're right on the cusp of that next level of consciousness, right? Which is really, really exciting. I feel like this isn't fully complete, so just give me a second. I'm just gonna send you some Reiki, so just receive. A lot of ancestral energy clearing down the legs from the root space. It's like your foundation has been kind of shaky and wobbly for a little while. And it feels like your energy just desires to find that anchor within and to really just allow your ancestry to hold you, but not intertwined inside your physical body and energy fields, right? Like they can hold you from a little bit more of a distance and space. So it's like, and when that happens, it's cool because it allows us to really fully own our own divinity and like goddess vibes or God vibes, right? Like we get to hold those vibes and be like, yeah, I'm an expert in my own right. And I have these ancestors and these beings that are with me that are experts in their own right, right? And we get to come to the round table together. We're doing this together. It's not like, oh, you need to like come up in me and like infiltrate my system in order for me to feel stabilized because I can't do it myself. No. When you do this, you offer yourself an extra level of sovereignty as well as them. And that space provides the breeding ground for creativity and new ideas and expansion. Thank you. That was a really beautiful one. Thank you for bringing that forward. Sankela, I'm going to skip you because we already answered one question from you, and I'm going to do one question per person today. Okay. Mystic Phoenix, did I answer one from you already? No, I don't think so. Okay, cool. I just chatted with you. All right. So, am I interpreting and following my guidance around healing every area of my life correctly? Oh, I love these questions, you guys. I'm going to be very direct here, Mystic Phoenix. Okay. I love you. I'm sending you a giant hug. I'm going to be very direct. This is dripping with perfectionism. This question is dripping with perfectionism. Okay. You know what you need to do, babe? You need to deepen your connection with feminine energy and be more comfortable with following the flow. I want you have homework, okay? Your homework is to, whether this is like a morning or a half a day or a whole day, decide that your intuition is going to guide you the entire day. The entire day, from what you wear to when you pee, to what you eat, to how you do your hair, to when you go to bed, all of the things. I want you to tap into flow and release some of the gripping around doing things right. Oh my gosh. Do you guys see this? What's so funny is that I removed this feature the other day for the Apple responses, and it's still happening. But I have to say, I do like the balloons. Those are my favorite ones. So we're celebrating you, Mystic Phoenix. Maybe that's a confirmation. Maybe that's a confirmation. But bring more play and like lightheartedness into your journey. We take this so damn seriously, you guys. Like, we take this healing and spiritual journey so seriously. And there's a lot of sincerity to it. Don't get me wrong. But there's also like, why are we doing this? So that we can lighten our vibe, so that we can heighten our frequency, so that we can be more playful. You know, that's the energy of money. That's the energy of abundance. That's the energy of love. That's the energy of joy. All of the feelings and experiences at the top of that emotional frequency scale. Right? So when we attune to that, that's when we get to magnetize those things that we desire. So it's like, stop taking it so freaking seriously and just play. Like, play. I want you to play today. That's your second piece of homework, Mystic Phoenix. I just want you to play today. Right? And trust that the puzzle pieces of this healing journey are going to fit into place as you live your life and start focusing on healing, focusing on guidance. The guidance comes when we don't look for the guidance. The money comes when we don't look for the money. The health comes when we don't look for the health. I'll tell you, every single time that I was like, all right, I am devoted to healing. I know that I'm going to get better from sepsis. I know this isn't my destiny, and I'm going to heal myself. But it was this like, yes, I'm going to do it. Right. And there was this like demanding, forceful energy about it. I'm like, no wonder I'm not healing. I'm freaking gripping it to death. Right. Instead, it's like, God, however I'm meant to live, however long I'm meant to live, however I am meant to live in my physical body, I receive. I surrender to all of it. And not from a place of desperation, like, oh, forget it. I'm just going to throw up my hands and surrender. No, I'm going to do it from a place of, I trust you because you're smarter than me, dude. You're all smarter than me, right? I can be the smartest person on this entire planet. Nothing trumps divine intelligence. Okay. So Mystic Phoenix, you okay? How'd that feel? How'd that feel? I kind of want to hug you right now and be with you because even if you're not consciously feeling perfectionistic, there's fractals of this in your field that are releasing through that question. 800%. No doubt in my mind. I know, Mystic. I am so excited that those balloons came through. Now I'm kind of glad that the shift I made on my computer didn't work. Oh, you're a generator too, Lee Jane. Yay. Oh, hi, Sarah. Sacral power, baby. Okay. Katie. Hi, Katie. What will help me make decisions and choose directions in my life? You. You will. Where do you want to go, babe? This is one of the biggest questions that my clients have trouble with, guys. I literally was on a call with somebody the other day and I was talking about this and I was like, yeah, well, just like, I'm like, it's in the direction of your desire. And she's like, well, I have no idea what I desire. I don't know what I want. I cannot even tell you after 20 years doing this work, you guys, that is one of the biggest issues that have come forward in client sessions because it's like, you can heal the depression and the anxiety and the OCD and the psychosis, all these things that would come forward, right? You can heal anything you want. Anything you want. But guess what's underneath that? And this is exactly why people don't dive down this rabbit hole is the freaking desire that's underneath it. Cause it's like that desire almost feels taboo to some people. Ooh, what if I want to have sex with like 3 people? Or what if my desire means that I want to like move to Paris and my family's going to freak out? Or what if my desire is to, create a commune? Like our desires can be big, you guys. They can be big and people shy away from them. And so that's what's coming forward for you, Katie, is to like get really deeply immersed in desire, like swim in it, bathe in it. I want you to like take a bath in desire. Make a desire bath for yourself. Put in some essential oils that relate to desire. Put in some rose petals. Put in anything that feels like desire. I don't care if they're charms. Just make sure the drain is closed so they don't go down the drain, and like bathe in desire. Because that's what's going to give you your direction. That's what's going to give you decisions where you're just like, once you taste it, once you see it, guys, you can't unsee it. That's the blessing and the torture of this path. Trust me, I feel it every day lately because my desire has just been growing bigger and bigger. And I'm just like, shit, like, yay. And also like, wow, right? It's a lot to hold. At least it feels that way at first. And that's when we give ourselves space to allow that to integrate. But it's like, once I see it, I'm like, there's no way in hell that I'm not actualizing that. There's no way in hell that's not happening in my field. This is where decision comes in and conviction comes in. I've decided that's mine. Whether it actually comes forward in 3D form or not doesn't matter. And most of the time, the things that I desire are not presented to me in very meticulous, specific, like laid out roadmap plans, like 3D form, concrete steps. Like usually not. Usually it's like a feeling that I get or a knowing or like a construct or an archetype that I'm moving into. Like right now it's divine mother, like embodying the divine mother. Right. And so it's like, that's like a very diffuse thing because you could say like, well, what does that even mean? And like, what does that look like? I don't freaking know. Right. Like, I mean, I do get it to a degree in vibrational terms, but in 3D form, I have no idea what that looks like, but I know I will as I just continue to offer space to it. Okay. That was a rant of a download. Katie, how's that feel, honey bunches? I do personal Akashic readings. Yes. I can drop the link here for you if you want, if that makes your life easier. I'll just give you guys the link to my appointments page for my one-on-ones, and then you can choose which one you want. But those are just for like the one time. Those aren't for programs that really teach you sustainable, like how to do this sustainably for yourself. But the readings I just do to, bring through answers to your questions, kind of like I'm doing here, but in more of an intimate deep dive way. Oh, yay, Sherry. Oh, I'm excited about the Spirit Fair. I'm celebrating it. That's going to be really fun. That's going to be really fun. Yay. Oh, those are so fun. Okay. See, I have to scroll now. No big deal. Hi, Ashley. You're welcome. Thank you for being here. Lubika, are you still here? What does my higher self want me to know right now? I just need a sip of water. What does my higher self want me to know right now? Okay. One of the things that's coming through, I'm just going to channel this directly again. There seems to be a lot of that today. Is I'm just getting the 3D words for this. Okay. There's like kind of two concepts here wrapped up in one. So your higher self wants you to know that they want you to expand your inner space. So did you guys ever watch the movie Inner Space? That's what it makes me think of. I'm like thinking of Epcot because I feel like there was a ride there at one point called Inner Space. But anyway, I digress. They want you to, they're showing me this. They're showing me you breathing all the way down into like your solar plexus here, right? And then as you breathe in, it kind of pushes all energy out to the sides of your inner space, right? Like out to the sides. And then as you breathe more, it spreads up and then it spreads down your fingertips. And it's almost like with your breath, you're creating yourself as a hollow bone, as a hollow vessel, which is something that I taught in my channeling workshop, in addition to the different chakras that we use to channel for ourselves and channel for other people. But it's really beautiful because what they're doing is they're wanting to channel through you more, which is really fun and expansive and exciting. So they want you to use the breath to kind of, and if you don't want to use the breath, you don't have to. You can also just use a visualization, but the breath is important, is what they're saying as well, if you can bring that in, because it's really energetically opening space. And at the same time, it's a gentle movement, right? Like it's a gentle shifting of the energy, so that some of these energies that are getting pushed to the sides are compressing, right? They're like compressing and they're condensing. So they're either going to come into alignment with one another and kind of create a new narrative or a new pathway in the body, or they're going to come to the sides and they're going to move down and release out the root, either through going to the bathroom, or I don't know if you're male or female, but it could release through a cycle, right? So that's what I'm seeing. It's actually a really powerful alchemical transformation that they want you to go through right now to really make yourself a vessel for universal energy to move through. So that's the two components. It's kind of like this inner space that you're opening, but also at the second component is really about allowing your physical body to relax and kind of rewire and create new pathways in the midst of this. Really powerful. That was really cool. Thank you for asking that. Okay. I think we can all take something from that. Okay. Luminita Nora, how can I find where my place on earth is? I just want to put my roots down. I know it's not here where I am right now. Yeah, it can be hard, especially when you're a star seed and especially when you really do resonate with higher dimensional consciousness to find a place on earth where it really feels like home. So let me feel into this for you right now. I also want to ask you, they're asking this question, why do you want to put your roots down? Why? What are you looking for? What do you think is going to happen when you put your roots down? Like what's going to come from that? Because that's really important. I keep seeing someplace tropical. They keep telling me Costa Rica. I'm not sure where you are now, but they keep showing me that. But yeah, I mean, it's you just want to be yourself. Okay. So see, this is the thing. This is why that they asked that question, which is very important. And I've been here at this point at these different points in my life too, where it's like you can be yourself now. So I think that's part of it is when you stop assigning a location to your full authenticity, the location will arrive. Just like I said before, like when we focus on money, money doesn't come in. When we stop focusing on it, it comes in, right? Like when we stop focusing on getting our health to the perfect spot, it'll arrive, right? Like release your grip on it. So that's kind of what's coming through here is this concept of like, when you can no longer delay showing up in your full authenticity because you know that you can claim that no matter where you are, your location will come in so clear and arrive to you. Okay. You're in Spain, you feel lonely here. Yeah. Yeah. And so this is the first thing that I would say is to be with loneliness. Be with your loneliness. I can't tell you how many times I've done that in my life. Where I've literally just like screamed at God, like, what is the message here? Like, why, man? I like, oh, again, right? I'll tell you, loneliness always comes up before a big expansion. Loneliness always comes up before you're being invited into really sustainable community and service. Okay. Um, and one of the main reasons, if not the main reason that we feel lonely is because we're not connecting to ourselves deeply enough. And it doesn't mean you're not connecting enough. Like I used to get pissed when people would say that to me because I connect with myself like a champ. Okay. Like a champ. But then I learned how to connect with myself more deeply and like really immerse in it. And I was like, oh, wow, this is a whole new ball game, right? A whole new ball game. So it's about you inviting in deeper connection. Yeah. And Jennifer says, finding your tribe too, 100%, finding your soul tribe. But that's also going to happen the more magnetic you are. The more I grow in my consciousness and my authenticity, and the more that I'm with this like feeling, and the more that I'm with this feeling of loneliness or the feeling of rejection or whatever, it's amazing. Like my ability to transform and move through emotion is fucking stellar. There's like nothing short of magical. And there is no way in hell that I would have gotten there without spirit. No way in hell. It is wild. So it's realizing the emotion and the feeling is not tied to anything but yourself. It's not tied to anything. Now, that doesn't mean that we can't move locations to expand our experience. But what you're asking for is clarity on where that is. And in order to get clarity on where that is, you need to go deeper within yourself and be with the loneliness, because spirit isn't going to want you to escape the loneliness to just go somewhere else. You know what I mean? Like, okay, well, I'm just going to go somewhere else. And then I don't have to be with the loneliness because I'm filling it through who's around me or what's around me, right? Spirit wants to know, like, I'm willing to be here with all of this. I'm willing to be here with all of me. Every single uncomfortable part of me, I am willing to be with. Right. And this is literally the theme of the full moon that I was writing this morning to prepare for my full moon ceremony that I'm doing and my membership this week. Like being all of you. Right. and not shying away from that, not shying away from being all of you. Loneliness can feel brutal. It can feel like a part of our souls are being torn apart. I just want to tune into this for one more moment for you. I also want you to realize this. You're so welcome. I also want you to realize this. Everything we feel exists on a spectrum. So, Luminate to Nora, what do you see as the opposite end of the spectrum from loneliness? Oh, Katie, you and I are besties. Divine Mother energy. Let's go, sister. I'm so glad this is resonating, you guys. Of course it is, because your souls decided to show up here today. Yay. So, on the other end of the spectrum from loneliness, my tribe, my family. Yep. Deep, intimate connection. So go get it. Stop waiting for it. Go into into intimate connection with you, with source, with your soul, with your inner child, with your heart space, with all parts of you. Get into deep, intimate connection with your people. Reach out to them. You don't have to talk about anything deep. Just be like, hey, what's up? Let's hang out. Right? I always say, and I say this because I said this to myself for years, friends. I would say to myself, don't bitch about what you don't have if you're not willing to go out and get it and create it yourself. Like, if you don't see that you have something in your life, go create it. We are creators. Look where we are right now, guys. We're in this spiritual space together, right? Infinite possibility. We can create anything we want. Is it always easy in the human form? No, not always. It doesn't always feel easy, but it can when you allow spirit to lead. It can feel easier. But it's like, go create it. And you can say, well, I have this in the way and I have that in the way. Absolutely. We all have those things. I did for years. I didn't start this business until 8 or 9 years ago. I mean, I've been a therapist for 20 years, but I didn't start this depth of work until 8 or 9 years ago at this level, right? Do I wish I would have known that earlier in my life? Absolutely. Right? But everything is in divine timing. Everything's in divine timing. Okay? So, reach for it. Take initiative. Yeah, there you go. Listen to what you feel. You feel you should start writing? Do it. Brilliant. That's a very intimate, sacred way of connecting intimately with yourself. Okay. Scrolling back, people. Scrolling back. Congratulations on your QHHT course, Ninka. Okay. Shelly Ferrano, are you still here, honey? Had a situation at work and wonder what it's about. Any idea? I would appreciate if you could help me with it. Okay. So the way that you're posting this sounds to me like you think you don't already know what it's about, right? Your subconscious mind knows what it's about. Your soul knows what it's about. So I'm feeling this almost like shrinking, passive, small energy around this question. Like, I need to know what this is about. Why? Why do you need to know what this is about? Because if you're in your full confidence and sovereignty and you know that you are operating at work as yourself in your full authenticity, and you know that what you're doing is valuable and solid, and you're, putting your heart into it, etc., then do you really need an answer to that question? Because the answer really that they're bringing through here is the first thing they said as soon as I read this was stand in your sovereignty. Stand in your sovereignty, right? Because you know who you are and you know what you provide, and we don't need to rely on external validation or feedback to determine our core knowing and core value, right? So that's what they're asking you to step into, is not so much focusing on like the actual 3D concrete situation that's unfolding at work, but instead it's like there's an energy in that is catalyzing something within you, right? And so we want to appreciate that it's catalyzing something in you. So instead of totally understanding what the situation is about, it's like, wow, I deeply appreciate that you're activating me. You're activating me into greater clarity of my own truth, greater clarity of my own position on what's going on with work, and trusting and feeling into the fact that I already know where I stand on this, and that I don't have to bend on it because of a hierarchy or because of, expectations or requirements at work, things like that, right? And it's being able to really tease out your truth in this, um, rather than kind of like trying to think through all the pieces and figure it out in your mind. Instead, it's like, thank you for bringing this forward to me, source, to catalyze and activate the energy in my field. Because sometimes that's activating a real change in how you show up, in the position that you fulfill, in leaving or being there in that position, right? It's deciding, how does this feel aligned with my truth and my core? And where does it resonate with me? And really anchor in that. So let me know how that feels. Natalia, she's written her question. What should I know or change in my life to finally be happy and fulfilled? What NR9 should mean to me? I don't know what that means. Not sure what that one means. But I already answered your question earlier. So we will move on from that for now. You're welcome, Lee Jane. Ashley G, hi. How can I align more to abundance in my spiritual business? I kind of answered this already when we were talking about, this is the first thing I want to say. Being a spiritual business owner, stop focusing on making money from it. Seriously, stop. Like, just do it because you love it. Do it because you love, like, sharing in community and doing this together lifts my vibe so much. Like, it's such medicine to connect with you guys, right? Like, recognize the medicine. I would say, how can I align more to the medicine of my spiritual business, right? Like the fact that it is deeply fueling you, it is deep medicine for you, and that there's this reciprocal relationship there, that as the two of you come into more intimate relationship, your business and yourself, you grow with each other into this space of joy, playfulness, expansiveness, and love, right? That's the energy of abundance. So it's like when you just love everyone because you love to love, after you've already filled yourself with that and allowed that overflow. I'm telling you, the more that we fixate, I have gone through so many iterations of this, Ashley, in my business. I have gone through fixating on money. I have gone through setting monthly goals. I've gone through so ups and downs in my income. I've gone through joining nervous system programs to regulate my nervous system around money and release all of my ancestral healing around, or issues around money. I've done everything you can imagine. I've done money mindset stuff, affirmations, somatic movement, tapping, breath work around money, all of it, right? And this is what I'm telling you. What makes you feel the most abundant in general in your life? Because once you actualize the frequency of abundance, which, by the way, is the frequency of source, the more intimately connected you are with source, you've got it down. And then just let yourself have fun. Let yourself play. Let yourself share in source's created community here on the planet that's drawn to you. And just be with them, right? Because otherwise it becomes this fixation thing. Okay. Let me know how that feels, Ashley. Okay, Chris 12. What's your opinion on changing our diets drastically? Gluten-free, no animal products for the purpose. Yeah, okay. So I like this question. I'm gluten-free, I'm dairy-free. I eat a lot from the earth, no processed stuff, things like that. I really do feel that when we are looking for higher frequency foods, I think two things. I think that when we're talking about intake into our physical bodies, we need to, number one, listen to our bodies, right? And our bodies sometimes can be craving things that are more refined if that's what we're accustomed to. So yes, we can change our taste in that way, and I encourage you to do so, to eat more things that are naturally from the earth. Okay? When we eat more things that are naturally from the earth, yes, our frequency will raise. But that doesn't mean that you can't eat meat, right? I know a lot of people who have tried vegan, who have tried vegetarian and stayed that way and been very happy. And I know people who have done it and their bodies really require and ask for animal products. So I want you to listen to what your body desires. And this may be a bit of an experimental experience, right? Where you're like, all right, well, I'm going to try this. And yeah, that feels good. But now I'm feeling a little lethargic. Like, listen to your body, because the closer that you get to the intimate conversation with your body and allowing it to express itself to you very authentically, the more you're going to be able to have the answers to this question. Because I think that, again, anything that we change to get somewhere else, I don't know. Like, I'd rather you say, like, what does my body call for in the moment? And like, I know where I'm going. I already know that I'm going into a higher frequency, and that's going to happen regardless. And as I continue on this path and continue to do my spiritual work and continue to connect with myself and connect with source, those preferences are going to arise through the body naturally. I don't have to like think about it or analyze it or anything like that. Okay. Okay. You're welcome, Ashley. Oh, cool. Great, great, great. Shelly said, my boss fired me, then asked me to stay until he finds someone else to do it. If he fired me for not doing right. So again, this is where your truth is. I can feel your truth through this, right? Your truth is, no, that's not comfortable for me. If you want to fire me, I don't want to be here, right? Like, if you're resentful about it and that doesn't feel aligned with your truth, then you make a decision. Okay. You're welcome, Shelly. All right. Let's see. I probably have a few more in my bandwidth here. And there's still a few. Night driver. I need something more specific than that. Not just what is your advice. Be a little bit more specific with your question. You're a recovering perfectionist. Yeah. Okay. Yes, exactly. Green gold. Yeah. If anything in this space becomes difficult, leave it be. That means it is an exercise of the mind or ego, and you do not need it. When we are operating from what or who we really are, things are very easy. Yep. Okay. All right. All right, Ninka, I don't think you asked a question yet, so this is cool. Struggling with injustice with my narcissistic ex who still has half custody, 2 kids are awake, and 2 trauma bonded. I want to break us free, so ready to move on, but how? Have you asked Spirit this question? What has come forward there? Because the how is always going to come from Spirit, right? I've worked with a lot of people in this situation, with helping them kind of extract from a narcissistic relationship, and particularly even once they're out of the narcissistic relationship, having like sharing children, right, and kind of co-parenting. And what I will tell you is this: two things are coming forward. One is that the best thing you can do for yourself and your children is to see yourself in your power and to trust even deeper in source, and to realize that you are not willing and able, like creating a boundary for yourself. That's, I'm not available for ego to ego battles. I'm not available for it. I just won't go there. And when ego about battles come up, I choose not to engage in them. And trust the energy and come at it with love. Obviously, people with narcissism are extremely wounded. And they're not necessarily going to hear your words, because they're not coming from a rational space, even though they can present that way a lot of the time. And so what it is deep nourishment of yourself and your children, on an energetic basis, and trusting that, right? Trusting that, and trusting that the more love that you embody and exude, the more he's going to be repelled if he's not open to receiving that from your field, right? And the more that your children are going to be drawn into a more secure bond with you. So it's not about breaking a bond, because that's going to be forceful And that's going to be something that is going to receive resistance energy. And instead softening the energy of this whole situation, taking responsibility. Like what the first thing that came forward when I tuned into this, Ninka, was like realizing how powerful you are, right? Like realizing how powerful you are to energetically receive the how and to shift this situation without even using words, without even doing anything, right? And knowing without a doubt, being convicted. And that's the hard part in situations like this, especially when legal systems are involved, is there's a lot of doubt that comes in, and what if, and what if, and what if. And it really challenges our belief, which means that it really invites you even deeper into, yes, exactly, into belief. I don't go there, but attacks come in such hard ways and the kids get hurt. Yep. And all you can do is document it and be there for them, right? Document it and be there for them, and trust that. One thing I will tell you as a therapist for 20 years is that kids only need one parent. Kids only need one parent who is loving and holding and fully present for them. They really only need one to be able to really thrive. Okay. And so I want you to increase your authority around this, and really being able to use the language of like energetic language with your children around like, great, guess what? Dad's activating you into your power again. Let's go. How can we use this as a catalyst to feel like we can use our voice even more? Right. And not necessarily with him, but in general. Right. And I've had this same experience in my life when I was a child. And look how I'm using my voice now, Ninka. Look how I'm using my voice now. And the level of wounding that I would come home with destroyed my self-esteem, destroyed my sense of value at the time. But guess what? It never broke me, because although it quote unquote destroyed it destroyed it on the surface, not at the depth. And that's what I want you to remember. The depth of your children cannot be touched. Their soul will never waver, ever. Deepen your faith in them. Deepen your faith in them. Deepen your faith in yourself. They are rock stars. They are rock stars, and their souls will never be wounded by him. All right, so let me know how that feels. Got a little bit on my soapbox there. Okay. Let's see. Santosh says, starting with a reading and then opening records on my own. Does this make sense? Yeah, a lot of people do that, actually. A lot of people, because they get a little nervous, or they don't really know what it looks like, and they want to kind of feel into it and taste it a little bit. So sometimes they'll do an Akashic Records reading with me before they start working on it on their own. Yeah, that makes total sense. And you know what that does too? It allows that's what's great about, I mean, can we do all this work on our own? Yeah, absolutely. But like it can be, you open more and quicker when somebody else in human form is holding you. Right. And so it can just be like really, really anchoring for your human and your nervous system to be held in this space, in intimate connection, before you're moving into it on your own. So very cool. Okay. All right. Puja or Puha, what does my higher self want me to know right now? A combination of breath and movement is what's coming forward, because they want you to integrate your spirituality, excuse me, deeper into the body, so that your spirituality is more fully embodied, meaning like evenly distributed throughout the lower chakra system. They're asking you to kind of like really bring the breath and bring movement down into the lower chakra system, so that your faith is rippling from the top of your head all the way through the base of your toes. Right. And to bring the breath in with it to just encourage momentum, because that's what's going to really encourage momentum for you, is what they're calling forward. And it's going to open up a lightness of being. They want to feel like more of a light and airy movement within you, kind of like wind energy is what they're showing me. Like you're flowing, right? But you can't do that when the body isn't fully integrated, because it feels a little choppy right now. It's kind of like, okay, the top of me feels a little bit more connected to the divine, but the bottom of me, it doesn't feel completely distributed. And one of the ways that we can feel that is when we are not palpably feeling spiritual practice, like when we're not really feeling it fully in the body. And when we feel like we're really like lost and confused a lot of the time, it really shows that we're being invited into deepening this more into the human experience. Okay. So that's what's coming forward. Okay. Jan, if I keep failing at what I'm trying to create, does that mean it's not meant to be? Nope. There's no failure, right? It's all just information. And so what comes forward around this for me is are you convicted in it? Like, is this something that you really, really want? Does it feel really good to you? Is it something that you like you said, trying to create? Just create it, right? And then you're saying, "Oh, I keep failing." Like, how are you defining failure? What do you mean by failing? Like, what are your metrics? Because this is one of the things that's really interesting and helpful is like, we can look at metrics as well. Nobody signed up for my program. Nobody liked my post. Nobody wrote me back. Nobody called me. Nobody responded. Nobody thinks it's a good idea. All of this is 3D evidence, right? And so we're looking at this and saying it's not meant to be, or it's that, there's things that I have, like programs that I've launched that have not sold in the past. Right. And for me, it's like, where do I desire to deepen my intimate connection with this program and refine it to kind of be more in alignment with where I am now. Right. And so what I will say to you is this is like, if this is something that feels really expansive and soul-led desire based, then deepen your conviction and don't waver when you are not getting the results you want, because all of those metrics that we look at are false illusions, right? Because at the end of the day, energy is like the energetic field is always observing us, right? It's always observing. And so the energy that you're putting out there with what you're creating is creating a ripple effect. It is shifting energy. And so it's knowing that it is and deciding that you're going to continue to kind of fine tune and micro shift this so that it feels massively exciting. That's my question for you. Does it feel massively exciting? And not just the outcome does it feel massively exciting, but does the process of creation feel massively exciting? And I get it that sometimes when we're focusing on like for me, I'm a very feminine energy. And so when I'm doing like masculine things like, taxes or, some of those more structured, like putting a sales page together for a program, things like that, right? Like more of the masculine things in my business. In the past, I would have shied away from those more. But when we shy away and when those things don't feel massively exciting, it's because we're in some level of resistance around masculine energy, or we're in some level of resistance around this actually coming into form, because it's like, oh, if this actually comes in, like if it exists in your world, that means it's meant for you. So if this keeps not getting you the results it wants, there's a reason for that. It's communicating something to you. It's inviting you into a higher level of leadership. It's inviting you into a deeper level of conviction. And it's inviting you into any areas of resistance that are showing up in the process that you can soften into. So let me know how that feels. Yeah, losing money. I hear you. I understand. But this is my question for you. And I said this on one of my vitality modules the other day. What's more important? God's mission for you or the money that you're losing? God's mission for you or your fear of failure? God's mission for you or your perception of failure? What's more important? Right? I've written 2 books. One's Holistic Mental Health 1, one's Holistic Mental Health Volume 2. Volume 2 comes out in April. Yay for me. The publisher, one of the quotes that she shared with me long ago when I first met her was, "Your fear is boring. Your fear is boring." This is fucking boring. I don't have space for this shit, right? Like that's what you want to say to yourself. Like, no, this is so much bigger than me. It's so much bigger than you. It's so much, we make it about us. Oh, but what if I fail? What if I feel bad about myself? But what if I feel, it's not about us. I get in that too. I've had so many times where I'm just like, oh, woe is me, right? We need to feel that for a minute so that our frequency can match that victim mentality, can match that I'm a failure mentality, so that it can be seen and acknowledged, so that it has the space to move because somebody's there with it, right? So it's okay, honor it, be with it, but then decide. This mission is vital, and I am going to deepen my conviction in it, and nothing is going to shake me because it's only God's perspective that matters to me. And I trust that God has my back. Deepening that connection with source too. So anyway, I hope that was supportive for you. Okay. Yeah, Lee Jane, this year is incredibly spiritually strong. If you guys haven't watched my 2024 Akashic update video, you should. Because I really loved what came through gosh around 2024. I don't do that stuff ever because I don't like doing predictive energies, as you know, because I like to like be more in the moment and trust the unfolding and all of that. And I think that we can set ourselves up for a self-fulfilling prophecy when we're like looking too far ahead. But I was asked to do it for a summit and it felt right. And so I recorded it and then I just uploaded it to my YouTube when the summit was over. Okay. Sandra, I'm always unhappy with, you're welcome, Santosh. Good to see you. Hi, Anita. I love you. Thanks, Green Gold. I love you. All right, Sandra, I'm always unhappy with my jobs. I quit my job again. I'm wondering what's the best work for me. Should I try something new? Yeah, absolutely. You should try something. I mean, like what feels fresh, what feels fun, what feels expansive, what feels growth enhancing for you. I didn't like my jobs either, Sandra. Why do you think I'm in business for myself, dude? I hated that shit. I was like, this doesn't work. Like you're just somebody who needs to create your own path, right? Like this is what I want you to do. I want you to play with this a little bit. If you could create your own path, like just tap into the energy. Don't get connected to like what you actually write down, but just like tap into this energy of like of fun and play and just being like, if I could create the perfect job situation for me or the perfect business that I'm creating for myself, right? Like if I were to do that, what would it look like? Just play, create the most perfect job that you would look for and just have fun with it, right? Have fun with it, enjoy it, and start getting into the resonance of it doesn't mean anything. Like it doesn't have to mean anything that, oh, I'm always unhappy with my jobs, right? I quit my job again. Like you're judging yourself. Don't judge yourself. Who gives a shit, right? Like the average person from the time they graduate from college within the first 5 years after college changes jobs 7 times. That's the average job change rate. 7 times in the first 5 years. It's just about like, there's nothing wrong with it. In fact, you're probably a more liberated being than the vast majority of people on this planet, right? Because you're like, I don't want to play the freaking traditional commerce games. This is bullshit, right? Like just realize that it's offering you this taste of liberation, right? All right, let me know how that felt. Okay. I am going to answer Night Driver, and then I think I'm going to be done. We will see. Thank you for rewriting this question. I deeply appreciate it. And just before I answer this, I'm going to drop the link to, this is the link for Akashic Immersion, you guys. It starts on March 8th. So any of you who want to learn how to do this for yourself, who want to learn how this energy moves through you and just start working with me, this is the place where a lot of people start. They start with Akashic Immersion. Sometimes they move into Vitality or one-on-ones, but that's a really good place to start. A fantastic program and so much fun. You can read about it in the link. So Night Driver, I'm about to be a teacher and want to lead others spiritually, but still waiting because the government had to announce it first. At the time I'm keeping learning. I hope it happens and I serve humanity. Okay. So I wanted to learn if you have any advice for this time that helps me make it better. Oh, like as you're waiting? I mean, it sounds to me like you're kind of attaching to the outcome. I hope I'm reading your question right, but it sounds like you're attaching to the outcome a little bit. Like this is a good thing. I'm glad you brought this up. Thank you so much, because this is about not allowing yourself to be in the waiting energy. Being in the waiting energy really takes away our power. Well, once I get that job, then it's all going to work for me, right? Then I'm going to be good. I'm going to be solid. Once I feel better physically, then I'm going to be solid. Once my moods calm down, then I'm going to feel solid, right? And so it's like taking yourself out of the waiting energy and the passive energy and being like, I get to actually serve humanity spiritually and lead others spiritually now, just by being who you are. If you want to invite people into something, go for it. Create a free meditation circle and just do it for fun, like in the freaking local library or something, right? But it's like, just don't make it this keep learning, keep learning, keep learning. Like I have to grab it all so that I can lead appropriately when the time comes. No, that's going to get you further from what you want. What's going to get you closer to what you want is to deepen your connection with yourself and with source. Seems to be the theme today, right? Because you already lead others spiritually just by being you. Can you trust that? And the more you are, the more you get to know, the more depths of you allow to come forward and be magical and welcomed, the more you're leading by anybody who comes into your field. Okay? All right. I think you posted your question way earlier before I had asked for questions. So I started for when I asked questions to move. You're welcome, Night Driver. You're welcome, Sandra. Yeah, that's when people come onto these lives and just start blowing out questions. That's when I say, wait and save your question and share it later when I tell you to start sharing, because otherwise I'm going to spend the whole time scrolling back, and I already spent enough time scrolling and I don't want to take up too much more of your Sunday. Right. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you. Oh, no. Please don't apologize. It's not a big deal. It's just the dance of technology, right? The dance of technology. But thank you so much for everyone who is here with me. And there's so many different ways that we can connect. And Akashic Immersion is the next one that is starting on March 8th as a group program. So I really encourage you guys to check that out if you enjoyed this. And if this is something that you'd like to be able to do for yourself and for your loved ones and have these answers at the ready, right? Have these answers at the ready, have this clarity, have this confidence. That's what I really guided people into, is this really embodied confidence and self-acceptance and appreciation and clarity. So I'm always happy to hear from you. And I look forward to doing one of these again very, very soon. Mwah. I appreciate your support of each other and sharing vulnerably, sharing your hearts with me. Oh, wait, let's close the Akashic Records. I forgot this time I opened them, right? This time I opened them because I wanted to do that today. So let's close up the records together. All right. Close your eyes. Take a nice deep breath in and release. Offering gratitude and appreciation for all the love, guidance, and support in this space today, for the collaboration and the co-creation, the beautiful, beautiful love that was shared here, the honest reflection, the receptivity of everyone in this space, acknowledging the frequency of oneness, knowing that as we shift, shifts extend beyond us. And it's with this final Om that we will close the Akashic Records. The records are now closed. You can open your eyes whenever you're ready. You guys, did you hear that Om? That was like the most solid Om ever. Yay! It was attuned even more beautifully to the universal frequency because of this gorgeous community. So thank you. I love really solid Oms. They make me so happy. All right, guys, I will see you soon. Mwah. Love you. Bye.